Greetings and welcome to another episode of Free to Learn, a weekly production brought to you by the Zimbabwe National Students Union in partnership with the Danish Students Federation, DSF. My name is Liam Kaninga and I'm your host. And this week we are discussing the topic Female Students in Leadership and Activism in Zimbabwe. And to dissect this topic, I'm joined by a female student leader and a student from the Catholic University in Zimbabwe, Hillary Gwanzura. Hillary, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. We're actually discussing about female students' obstacles turning into greater stepping stones, you know.
Okay, so yes. How the female students' role in leadership and activism is changing. Well, to get down to it, Hillary, can you, as a female student leader, tell us the challenges or the obstacles that you have been facing as female student leaders?
Firstly, I really want to first define academic freedom, because that is where the struggle begins from. So in simple terms, academic freedom is defined as the scholar's freedom to express ideas without the risk of having officials to interfere. So whereas when we come into the real world and we come into different institutions, we face many obstacles as a whole that most issues of our rights attend or they are politicized. And it's a greater effect that affects both of us. And whereas as we come as female students, we have obstacles such as imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is basically a sense of having a gender bias or inequality. Why am I saying that? Yes, we believe, and yes, it has evolved over the years that we have accepted. We as women we are now accepted in the world, and we're now seen as equal as men. But there are certain things that we cannot change. When I said gender inequality bias, there are things that men see us as sexual objects. Okay,
so Hillary, if I get you well, you say that you female leaders or female student leaders are objectified. But also, doesn't that owe to the way you present yourselves on campus or you present yourselves in the struggle?
No, we don't present ourselves in any different way. Our best thing that we want is to be seen as you are seen. So vanhu vanongotongotuona takangodaro kuti uyu angori mukadzi, so they it's like it's in their mental thing. It's a mental thing that cannot be changed by people. And I wanted to add on the other obstacles that we face. We have this fear of the known, of if I enter into this struggle, how will people see me? What are the things that am I going to face? Am I safe? How will the outside world be able to accept me into a certain environment as a female if I tend to act into a certain way?
So literally what you're saying is, one, because of certain canonized or normalized ways of thinking, men just view you as, women, they are sex objects and stuff, right? And then secondly, you said there are no assured or tangible assurances that you will be protected or safe. But then the question is, how do you as a female student leader or as female student leaders want to be protected, and how do you wish we can change that?
The best thing I really want is, first of all, I'll really encourage most of the female students to be educated about academic freedom. Whereas if they get this knowledge about what academic freedom is, they get a full understanding of how to go about the whole thing, how to go about the whole environment, how to take up themselves. Maybe in program initiatives that are taken by different organizations such as ZimCord, such as NAYO, such as Shamwari Mwana Sikana, as YET, as FNCT. Those are actual programs that could actually help us build us as women within the course of changing our perspective.
So the issue is all about capacity building and orientation into the struggle. So Hillary, you spoke about you wondering if you are safe. So what we want to understand is, what is it that you want to be safe from? What are the threats that you face?
We're all afraid of being imprisoned.
Okay.
And it's one thing that students face in the struggle. We're also afraid of not being accepted with the outside world.
Okay.
Yes.
So you fear literally being victimized and being rejected by the outside world.
Exactly.
And then how does that then affect your effectiveness as a leader? How does it affect even your progress in activism?
It derails my confidence, it derails my morale, it derails the inner me of fighting through this whole struggle.
Okay, so it literally demotivates you.
Yes.
Scares you.
Yes. And within this whole struggle, let's not forget that our families are also involved.
True.
So whenever I want to start to do something, I have to think of my family. How will it impact them? How will they accept it? That inini ndirimuskana ndikuita this, I'm fighting through this whole struggle, and then I get imprisoned. Ndobanda sungwa ndobanda pina mujeri. Varukumba kwangu vanoshitambira saying, how will they feel? How will it affect them? I might be okay if I am imprisoned, and then I'm in prison. How will it help them? How will it impact them of seeing their own child, especially a girl child?
Okay,
yes.
So the issue is also about your personal life, how it's affected by your activism. And then the most interesting question is, what are these activities that you do that end up landing you in prison?
You know what? Women leaders, we are more transformational than men. And with this generation and the changes of things, we are now seen as 50-50. So there's no any difference. And we have other female leaders that end up so the same thing that you're acting, guys, that's the same way that I'm actually acting. I'm actually doing the same things that you're doing.
Then how has that, apart from affecting your effectiveness, we want to know how has that affected the participation of female students in general?
It has affected a lot of female students that they've lost trust in carrying on with this journey. They've lost a sense of life within this. They just believe, in fact, we now just believe that we just live a certain life or in a certain way that we can achieve our dreams in another way, other than going through this struggle and having questions like, what will I benefit, you know?
Okay. But then you are still here and you are still active in the struggle. What is it that you stand to benefit that keeps you there, that these girls don't see?
The drive for change and the drive to make a difference in the world.
Okay, so for you, it's not material, it's just something very intrinsic and you just keep going on. It's
something that I am passionate about.
At a certain point in time, the struggle for academic freedom or the struggle for freedom itself pushes people to be radical at a certain point. So how best can we make sure that there is continuity, that there are more people that will be brave enough or that will be willing enough to go that extra mile?
Okay. Do you believe in things that an opportunity or a career can be inbuilt? So I'm saying I'm passionate about it. I didn't start like this. I started when I was in my first year. I don't want to lie. I just went for the benefits at first. And then it started to grow within the initiative programs that we're taking through, and then that I was going through. Then I started to like the ideas that were behind that. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing. So the best way we could do is to gather a lot of young women, and they should go through these initiatives, and then they get through it, and then they get educated through these certain initiatives. So once you get educated, once you learn, you tend to to have an open understanding of different perspectives of life, and you start to view or see life in a different way. So that is how I am here now, and that is how I grew within this struggle.
Okay, so the idea is all about training them. While is the instant they join, they should just go through training, grooming, training, and training, if I get you correctly.
I'd rather say grooming.
Okay.
I'd rather say educated, not training.
Okay.
Because when you're training, it seems like you're being forced or
okay.
But when I say educated, you learn, you get to learn. When you learn, you get the certain education that you get, it tends to live within you.
Okay.
Exactly. So it becomes a part of you.
How best can we protect or make sure that you are safe as female student leaders in the event that you succumb to those risks?
All right, Liam. There are female leaders out there here in Zimbabwe. So I believe that these female leaders, they really need to come back and support us female students, because that's how they grew as well to be where they are. So we need that support, we need that moral support. And also there's need for more females in the justice correctional system who are there to protect us within the cells, not having male correctional services to be standing by on the doors, whereby women will tend to succumb to sexual harassment and all such and different abuses.
Okay, so
yes.
Yeah, because trying to pick a note from what you said and relating it to something that actually happened, the trio, the MDC trio, Joanna Mamombe,
yes.
like Honorable Joanna Mamombe, Cecilia Chimbere Netai, spoke about being sexually harassed during the time that they were taken, and then they're not even the first of their kind, because these stories, we hear them.
Yes.
So you mean it's because of the little number of women that
yes.
we find as prison guards,
yes.
as maybe prison wardens, as also yes. as counselors and stuff. So you purport that there should be more women, because woman to woman, you are bound to protect each other.
Exactly.
There is need for solidarity amongst veteran female leaders and new day female leaders, especially female student leaders.
Yes, as we look up to them, we also one day to be up there. That's why we are within this struggle. That's why we are growing through this whole chain.
Okay. And then as a takeaway message, what would you give as advice to anyone of your gender who wishes to be an activist or who wishes to join the struggle?
I'd rather say, guys, let's not be afraid, and let's rather fight for making a difference in this whole world. Let's not just sit. All that glitters is not gold. Let's just not fight for the glitz and the glamour. And we need to understand that this glitz and the glam are worked for. So let's come together and work and make a difference. I believe as well we can be, as female leaders, we can be innovative in our activism through social media, through different platforms. We can do advocacy through Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, to make a difference within this world and for us to be heard.
Today I was joined by Hillary Gwanzura, a female student leader from Zimbabwe National Students Union, who is also enrolled at Catholic University in Zimbabwe, who said female student leaders fear being victimized and they succumb to victimization, and she recommended that as a means to avert those risks, there should be more involvement of females in the justice and the correctional services, and there should be solidarity between veteran female leaders and new day female student leaders as a means to ensure that there is safety of our young girls as they partake in activism. And she encourages all females to always make sure that they work for the ultimate goal. See you next week.